Hello everyone, it's me again, GWFan the Softcore Brony, finally bringing you an update a couple of days later than I originally wanted. In essence, my plans for the immediate future fell through. Basically, what I wanted to do, or rather decided to do, is that there's an LP that I have been wanting to do for a long time now, and it has been long overdue. But before I get to it, I want to do one last test run of it. So I figured, okay, I need an in-betweener LP, and I have just the thing. Because I think, like a little over 2 years ago now, maybe, I bought a PlayStation 2 game, which was actually the third and final game that I bought through my Patreon support, that I figured, hey, I can do a blind run of this. It looks like it'll probably be pretty fun for people to watch and all that. And, you know, I've got a PlayStation 2 emulator that I've got up and running, and, well, or so I thought, as it were, because it ran fine at first, but once I got into the game proper, I noticed it was suffering from some moderate slowdown, and that was without trying to simultaneously record. And despite my best efforts, that just, well, I couldn't fix the problem. So I don't have an immediate solution to it. I mean, I might, but I'll have to look into it a little further. But yeah, basically I needed an emergency LP, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do for a while there, but then I thought back, well, I've got my Steam library, and I wasn't planning on ever doing this one particular game as an LP, but why the hell not? So my next emergency in-betweener LP is going to be Let's Play Hollow Knight. So during my Philly Fantasy LP, I was thinking to myself, I really need to expand the choices that I have access to. And it occurred to me, I have Steam, I should make more use of that besides the 2 games that I've played thus far on my channel here. So at the beginning of the year, my Steam library was, I think, something like 8 to 12 games large. And since then, I have expanded it to 28 games, several of which I plan to LP someday in the future. And among those, of course, is Hollow Knight here, which I, well, was just gonna do as like a for fun, like for me, for fun type of game, but, well, because of emergencies, now it's not. So that's why it's the next game and all that. But of course you might be thinking, well, this is an in-betweener LP, right? So I'm preparing for something that I think is much bigger, aren't I? Well, yes, but interestingly enough, something unexpected happens, which is kind of funny, because when I originally did my Pony Fantasy LP way back when, I had planned for a particular game to Let's Play next, but then something unexpectedly released right towards the end, which turned out to be the first MLP RPG game, and guess what? Just after I finished my Philly Fantasy LP, MLP RPG 4 was released unexpectedly. So that is going to be my next LP, of course. I've decided I'm going to just give myself about 2 weeks or so to, you know, do my run through of the game and all that, and then I'll push it as my main LP, regardless of where I am with Hollow Knight, and whatever remains of that game will become my side LP. Hopefully not neglected like a certain other side LP that got neglected so many times in the past. But of course, since I am bumping up MLP RPG 4, that means something else got pushed back, right? Because I wanted to have an in-betweener LP in the first place. So what is going to be following MLP RPG 4? Well, isn't it about time? Let's play Breath of Fire 3. Oh yeah, I've got a PlayStation emulator working finally with my, well, legal copy of Breath of Fire 3, so there's that. I was originally going to be, like, you know, doing my test run of that while I was doing that PlayStation 2 game that I haven't even revealed or anything, but, well, couple of things happened there now, didn't they? So I'm not sure how long it's actually going to take me to do a test run, final test run of this one, because, yeah, I delayed so much because I was so lazy about making notes about this, because I'm going pretty detailed, even going as far as looking into AI scripts for every last monster in the game. So yeah, that's a lot of tedious work there, which is why it's taken me so long to get to this. But in any case, that's not the last announcement I have for the future. I have one more game that I want to eventually follow Breath of Fire 3. As some of you may be aware, at I think some point next year, unless they pushed it back again, the new Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be released, at least part 1, because, you know, the whole episodic BS and all that, but, well, you know what that means, right? Let's play the original Final Fantasy VII instead! Outside of mods for Final Fantasy VI and the technicality that the original MLP RPG was a very direct tribute to the original Final Fantasy, I have otherwise avoided the mainstream Final Fantasy series so far, and I think it's high time I change that. Now, I do not actually own the original Final Fantasy VII, at least not on the PlayStation. I actually own a copy of it from the PC version that was released, what, like a year or something after the original PlayStation version. But the version I have here is the Steam version, which, well, has a couple of mostly minor, but some rather major differences from the original, which I'll be explaining once I actually get to it. But yeah, this one I'm definitely going to have to do probably more than one test run of. I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that in the time it takes me to play through Breath of Fire 3, so there could be another in-betweener LP of some sort following Breath of Fire 3 before I get to this one. So yeah, that's my plans for the future, or at least most of them anyway. Once I get my PS2 emulator working without the slowdown issues, that of course will expand my options a lot. And for those of you who watched my little bonus episode during Philly Fantasy, where I showed how to like get the funny names class changes thing working and all that, you might have noticed in my start menu that I also have a dolphin emulator. Technically, I have that working. I'm just having complications getting a controller to work properly with it. So once I get that figured out, that'll also greatly expand what I have access to. So yeah, there's a lot of things I'm attempting to get going with this channel and all that. So, well, things perhaps you guys will look forward to someday. But in any case, as always, thank you for listening. This was a much longer one than I usually do, so I'm actually kind of proud of that. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Support me on Patreon if you don't mind, that is. And until next time.